Hi, everyone. Let me introduce myself first. I am working as a Scrum Master currently in MDEC Singapore. And it's my pleasure to present to you our first increment from our very first sprint. But before diving into the review of that, I would like to share my experiences, how it all shaped for me. Uh, it was uh, it was thought-provoking for me when Joshua, Aloysius, Adrian, and Juan shared their vision of giving back to the Agile community. I wanted to give back to the community of whatever I'm capable of, but I had never written any kind of book or blog. So somewhere I had that lack of confidence, you can say, but I still I took that decision of joining them. And as I said, I was very anxious as I had no idea how things will take place. But then we had our first weekly scrum. So we were having those instead of daily scrum, we were having weekly scrums. So from there, things got clearer. I'll just admit someone. Yeah. And they asked me my expectations in the beginning, and they briefed me about how this book will shape up. So I found it very transparent, and I got very various insights as per se on the topic from this particular one source, which was very good learning experience. So also there were regular interactions among common interest people, which helped me again in improving my knowledge and skills. So uh, I would like to request everyone whoever is feeling same as what I had to at least come and join us for the first meeting. So without further delaying, I will present you all with our first increment. I suppose that you all must be having this link. Okay. Okay. Thanks, Adrian. May I ask, has anyone gone through this document? Okay, I'll take it as no.
I
Okay,
think
so
the Ziling has make some comment.
okay,
I think perhaps those who has read, just put your thumbs up. I think somebody actually, Jamie stated, Jamie has read it. Jamie? Zerling? Right.
okay. So I will not delay it any further. So to give you a very short brief about what we have done, Adrian has already shared the link there. You can go and later read the whole thing. We divided this topic into 4 subsections as authors experience with the swarming, challenges that come with it, how to do it, and self-assessment checklist to help you assess the health of the team in order to focus on swarming. So to present you first, I will start with our authors' experiences that came from our product owner, Joshua. As it is very much aligned with the way we did it and made it in our increment as well. So he stated that we collaborated and wrote this playbook increment with swarming technique through online collaboration solutions. Our team decided which sections to write and how to write together. Every weekly Scrum meeting, whoever available met and brainstormed the content together at their own pace. We contributed content, comment, and challenge others' contributions. All team members were open to suggestions and committed to meet collective goals. The team enjoyed the process of swarming and delivered the playbook increment within a month. we had our challenges, and we tried to list them down as well, and also added the most common ones that the most of the team face while swarming, such as misalignment of values and differences in ideas and expectations, where all team members have different backgrounds and experiences. No individuals have the same beliefs, values, and ideas. Some team members could perceive swarming as a rigid and time-wasting approach. This misalignment of expectations will lead to lack of commitment and teamwork. Challenging those beliefs becomes inevitable and could bring further discontentment. Others were competency and skill gaps, lack of psychological safety, lack of management support, specialist teams. Then the fallacy of hero syndrome, where one team member believes that he or she is a hero and has a significant positive impact on the team's performance and belittle others' contributions. So as we have discussed about swarming, what it means and what are the challenges in doing it, let's focus on how to do it. So first thing, in preparing swarming, some things are recommended, whereas some are optional. So few recommended ones are team's readiness for swarming. So the team should know about the reasons, benefits, and basic techniques of swarming. Then their cross-functional competency, then establishing a team charter, process, and definition of done. Whereas optional ones are engagement with management, value stream mapping. And then now, once we have covered how to do it, the next step is just to do it. So no one should assign work to the team at the start of a sprint. Instead, the team should first reflect on the sprint goal and identify the top priority sprint backlog item that needs to be completed. Now that you are doing it, let's see how to sustain it. Check in or poll the team regularly. Keep the team motivated with small wins or celebrations every day. The team could identify the gaps and hurdles in daily Scrum. Scrum masters can ask the following questions: where are we right now? Why has the priority item not finished yet? Or how can we as a team move forward? So the team members who finish their work are encouraged to help those in need. We have also, in the end, listed a self-assessment checklist so that teams can evaluate themselves in order to see whether they are ready for swarming or not. However, to quantify this needs a discussion, and I will leave this room open for discussion on this.
Feel free to post your questions here. Unmute yourself. Or perhaps you have additional items that you want to add on.
Hi, Julin. You have a question that Joshua has responded. Do you have any more questions or follow up on that?
No, actually, it's quite clear cut for me because initially, I was trying to see if it might be more clear to example someone who's new to a job, but given that this is more of a self reflecting kind of analysis, then yes, this will be suitable.
Cool, thank you.
Jamie, you have read. Do you have any questions or additions?
I have a question, Alex here. So are the team members expected to work on the same code base while working on that first priority item?
I think if I understand your question, so your company has a practice that whenever change a code, do they use a different branch or different tag? Is that what you mean?
No, sorry. So our stories are for building an application in iOS, Android, and on the web. And so we have a cross-functional team which can deliver the whole story. We've got some iOS developers, Android developers, web developers. So, it's 3 separate code bases. Are they supposed to be working together on iOS and then pick up Android and pick up web, or how would that work?
So if I understand correctly, so your product has at least 3 platforms that you have to share. So
Yeah.
for us, right, we treat every platform as a separate story and not a single story. So that's my assumption. So that means that at any time, the team can decide, do they work on one platform only or concurrently multi-platform. So it's not, it is, the essence is, at one time, the team should concentrate on which platform that is most important. It's not about completing all the change for all platforms, because the PO will create the prioritization, right? So that is the essence of swarming, that for the high priority or higher business value item, the whole team should focus on that and not spread out to multiple platform or multiple story items. So in essence means that the team has to make a decision. Do they want to spread out or concentrate on one single platform first? Does that answer your question?
It does, but we are set up differently because all platforms are equally important, because the product owner is not going to go to production with just one, like with just iOS app, and until the Android is ready. So yeah, that's a bit different.
Yeah, so in that case configuration, right? So in case we are not questioning that decision, if all the changes have to be concurrently implemented, so in swarming, that means that the team will have to decide which platform will go first, and then based on the implementation and start to make changes on our platform, because there could be common module or common algorithm.
Yeah, sorry, may I elaborate further? Yeah,
Yep.
so if there are 3 different platforms, usually the product owner, they will have a sense of who has the most users. So we could, this is what I did. We usually do iOS or Android first, then based on the experience of that, we release it, and then we replicate the same experience back to the other platform. So this is one way you can do it. It also depends on your team's capabilities, whether they are focused towards Android, or are they willing to be a bit cross-functional? Because I think between the iOS and Android, there's not much difference, but if you talk about a mobile developer and web developer, that's quite a significant difference.
Yeah, just want to add on a bit. Capturing my
Very soft.
video.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, now better.
Okay, Joshua here. So just want to add on, basically swarming is a technique like how teams supposed to work together. It does not address the issues on how we prioritize product backlog items. So if you realize actually throughout the writing, right, we are talking about picking the items on the top most important item, where the team actually will just work together, swarm together, and finish as soon as possible. So basically that is the essence and what swarming is trying to achieve. So in other words, the team definitely need to work very closely with the product owner in terms of how they're supposed to prioritize the work, but it is always one at a time. Okay, the approach is always one staff at a time. So actually, as I reflect through again, and I also learned something recently. I realized swarming really works well when you have a small team. You could not swarm with a huge team. Even if you're talking about, even though we all know that Scrum allows all the way up to 10 people, right? But I could not imagine that the whole team really do swarming 10%. It's actually a bit challenging. So if you are aware of Jeff Sutherland and the MIT folks, I think some researcher, they did say that the golden number of a good team size is 4.6. 4.6. So in other words, if you're going to follow that rule, right, actually a very good number for swarming probably is around 5%. And you can actually imagine if only 5% working the same thing, actually it's more possible. And example, mob programming is one possibility. Yeah. So just want to add on this part.
Any more questions from anyone?
All right. If there's no other questions or you felt that you're shy, then there's certain questions you like to ask, you like to pose, but you like to hold it back at the end of the session, by all means, feel free to stay at the back. At the session, we can share more, we can discuss more in greater details. The other option is there's also a mirror board that is available. So if you look at the Zoom chat, there's a link to the mirror board. So you felt that there are some questions that you want to ask, or you have think about questions at this moment, you can post your questions in the mirror board. We're okay with that. Yep. Okay, so with that in mind, so shall we start off with the next half, which is about the two things, right? Yeses, weather, and interrupt pattern. All right, so sorry. So Jamie raised her hand. So sorry, Jamie, do you have a question? Sorry, Jamie, you raised your hand. So we would like to know, do you have a question at this junction? Right, so you give a count of 3. Okay, give ourselves 3 seconds. If not, the deal will close. 3, 2, 1. All right. Okay. Cool. So I will treat it as there's no question from you, right, Jamie?
Jamie, if you can't, I think she's facing some issues on her speaker though. Jamie, if you actually, we can't hear you, Jamie.
No, we can't hear you. Yeah.
Yeah. So Jamie, if you actually have issues speaking up, maybe you can type your questions. You can post your questions in the mirror board, or you can type your question in the chat. Yeah, Jamie, perhaps you type your questions in the mirror board at the link here. Let me repost the link again.
Okay. So
okay,
yeah.
Jamie posted a question here. My question is, human is key elements. Any suggestions or guides to start on swarming? Jamie, if you look at the playbook, right, there is actually a checklist there.
Yeah, it's at the bottom.
Right.
Yeah, that's
scroll up. Yeah. This self-assessment checklist, right? So you can also, I think your question will be same as Ziling. So if there is the checklist here, then what is next after this checklist? Is Jamie? Do you see the comment on the screen? I think, Jamie, you can continue to post your questions in the mirror board then. I think we lost her, Adrian.
Yeah, I guess I just saw it.
Yeah.
All right. So I guess.
Okay. This is Joshua here. I just want to add on something. Go on. Okay. So probably I'll just want to add on a bit on how to use this checklist. Basically the checklist, right, we are positioning is more like a self-assessment. Probably at the beginning when you wanted to use swarming for your team. And then you want to know where you are first. So probably you can do a quick assessment, check where you are. And the whole point is that after you tried swarming for probably a few weeks, and then you might want to check in again and check against this checklist. So the whole idea is, firstly, it is more to see where you were and later where you are now. And from there, you actually see if there's sort of an improvement. And these are also, of course, guidance for you to check, see if you're actually doing the things in the right manner. So this is something for you to know how you could actually use the self-assessment. Okay, so of course over here there are a lot of human related stuff. So I think that's why Celine highlighted this part. And just want to highlight another part is that if you realize in our playbook, we also mentioned a lot about the challenges. Quite a number of areas that we touch on is also a human aspect. For example, we talk about the management. So we need to get management buy-in. In fact, even for management to believe in swarming, I think it's very, very challenging. So we wrote a bit on that. Also, we also touch on the point where we also need to highlight, we need to solve the problem of the skill gap. Also, even talking about the team readiness, that's why we also touch on the area that there is need for a team charter. In fact, I think unanimously in our team, right, we all agree that before you could really start off swarming, we better start off with the right, we have that working norm and working agreement at the beginning, so that we can actually charge forward as one united body. So definitely, in order to be successful on the swarming aspect, you have to take care of all the human aspect of things, the readiness of people to work as one team and one unit. So of course, the whole idea is that we should avoid all the hero syndrome as well. So that's why every part when you see in the challenges, we try to actually address that portion. Okay. Yeah. So probably you might want to take a deeper look in this area. I hope I have also helped to answer some of Jamie's question.